Welcome to the Flavor of Dining with Cincinnati's seasoned restaurant tours. We are with Hunter Thomas, the owner of 20 Brix and Padrino, two restaurants here in quaint, lovely Old Milford. Hunter, we would love to know a little bit about 20 Brix and what the actual name means.
Well, Brix is a German term, and they use it in winemaking a lot. And Brix is the unit of measure of sugar in a liquid, designed by the German chemist Adolf Brix in 1850. So when they're in the field picking grapes, they need a certain amount of sugar to be in the grape. And the first picking would be at about 20 degrees Brix. And we thought that was a great name for the restaurant. It had a good flow to it. And it's a light, easy drinking wine, and we think that's a good start for 20 Brix. It's light, easy drinking, and easy going.
We would love to know about your history as a restaurateur and how you got started.
Well, for a long time, I traveled around. I taught skiing for a little while and hang gliding, and I always had a restaurant job, and that's what always paid the bills. And one day I decided I wanted to own a restaurant, and I wanted to go the route of school. So I went to Johnson & Wales University in Charleston, South Carolina, and I was there for about 5 years. And at that time, I worked in a lot of kitchens there. I worked as a chef towards the end of my time in Charleston. And strangely enough, my first job out of college was here in Cincinnati, and I was a restaurant manager at the Hilton.
And what kind of things have you done as a chef prior to the Cincinnati position that you held?
We in Charleston, it's very very southern, very low country. So there were a few restaurants there that we worked in. We would do a lot of fresh local seafood. So I'm very passionate about our fresh seafood. Crab cakes, shrimp and grits, of course, is always a staple on our menu, depending on the seasons. And I think what I decided was, in order to own a restaurant, I needed to be more involved in the front of the house. So once I left Charleston, I decided to go the route as a front of the house manager, a multi-unit operator in the hotels, meaning running restaurants, banquet department, room service, all the different things that come with a large place like that.
So what brought you to historic Milford as a place to open your restaurants?
We had looked at several locations, and we really liked the feel of the historic downtown Milford. The buildings were close together. It had a real warm feel to it. A lot of great homes, a lot of great neighborhoods around it, but there wasn't a lot of dining options, and so we thought that by coming here and bringing the street some great fine dining options, we could help revitalize the city, and I think we've helped do that.
And what is your restaurant based on, 20 Brix?
We wanted the restaurant to focus on wine and the wine drinking experience, and not be too stuffy. We wanted people to understand what they're drinking and why, have a good time with it. Not have to spend too much money, and maybe get to try some different varietals and different things that they normally wouldn't buy. And that's why we have the 2-ounce pours. You don't have to commit to a full glass or a full bottle. You can get a 2-ounce pour and just sort of taste what you'd like. But with that, we needed good food as well. A lot of wine does much better with a good meal. So that's where the food component came in, and we try to have a wide and varied wine list. And so by contrast, we like to have a wide and varied food menu. And we also like to source local ingredients when possible. We have farmers that call on us, and we try to use locally sourced vegetables and meats and anything we can that's up to a high standard and high quality.
So what are some examples of some of the wine tasting programs that you have here?
Well, of course, every night we have wine specials. We do wine flights that we choose to give people a little bit different experience. Every Tuesday, we have wine tastings, and these are formal wine tastings, 5 flights of wine and 5 dishes that go with each wine. Each dish is prepared for that specific wine. So if you go to one wine tasting a week, it'll be different. It'll be different every time. Sometimes we have winemakers come in and talk about their wine. They're very passionate, so those are very exciting. Other times we have special promotions and try to have some bubbles for New Year's Eve or nice cool wines for the summer, things of that nature. If it's what you like, then that goes perfectly with what you want. So if you want a white wine with a steak, a red wine with fish, that's, all those things work as long as you like it. Some people want a little more direction, and a nice sunny day like today, a rosé would be really nice. Some people like it sweeter, some people like it nice and dry, and you can really enjoy a nice clean rosé while sitting on the patio.
I noticed that you also have a wine store in the front of your location here.
We do. We have the wine store for a few reasons. One, how many times have you been to a restaurant and you wanted to remember the wine? So you either tried to write it down, or nowadays you take a picture of it with your phone. Instead, we offer that same wine you just had at your table in the front in the retail store for the retail price that you would buy it in a store anywhere around town. So that way you don't have to go looking for it. We just provide it for you there.
Hunter, can you tell us a little bit about your family dynamic and the 2 restaurants that you have here in historic Milford, 20 Brix and Padrino?
As the ball was rolling and we were starting to open the restaurants and get things moving, I knew that at the beginning, a lot of restaurants have high turnover in the beginning. So I knew I needed some people there with me that I could trust and that I could work well with. So my father, being newly retired, was available to do anything that was necessary, and he had a lot of good advice and he was a lot of good help. My brother had just finished culinary school at Cincinnati State and had worked in restaurants cooking for a long time. So when we opened 20 Brix, they were very involved. My mother actually, still to this day, buys flowers for the restaurants to make sure we always have fresh flowers on the table. As time moved on and the restaurants became busier, or as 20 Brix became busier, and we decided to open Padrino, my brother moved, and he is the kitchen manager at Padrino. My father, after a while, decided to be retired like he originally wanted to be. So we have our general manager, Clay Mitchell, that works with us there. But as I said, to this day, my mother still comes in to make sure we have flowers for the table.
20 Brix is known as a fine casual restaurant, and it offers a very unique experience. Can you expand on that for us?
We like to have all diners come in. Quite often you can have people come off the walking trail or the bike trail, and they'll have a pizza or a nice glass of wine, very casual in jeans. But we also offer a lot for the special occasion diner that's looking for a special evening, a more fine dining evening as well.
What types of seafoods do you offer here?
We offer a crab cake, which has been very popular since the day we opened. Shrimp and grits, again, is another staple. Scallops, we like to prepare the scallops seasonally with seasonal sides. Scallops are very nice. Shrimp, appetizers, and things of that nature we have as well.
So you really have something to offer everybody.
We do. We have steaks and seafood for the fine dining enthusiast, and we also have food for folks that are coming off the bike trail.
Paint a picture of historic Milford and what your restaurants, 20 Brix and Padrino, offer, and the experience that people have in both restaurants.
Well, downtown historic Milford is a lovely town. There's a lot of shops, and as you walk down, you may be window shopping or maybe going to pick something up. You can come into 20 Brix most any evening and find a vibrant bar. We do serve craft beers and alcohol at the bar, as well as our wine, and wine on the tap, which is a very interesting feature. You'll most often find a black and white movie playing that you can watch. We also have, on Tuesday nights, we might have wine tastings going on. as well as nice, quiet dining and people enjoying a fine dining meal.
My name is Paul Baracco. I'm the chef here at 20 Brix in Milford, and we're going to showcase one of our kind of more popular dishes at the restaurant, a seasonal dish for us. This is our Berkshire pork shoulder. We have brined the pork overnight, and then we're searing it off to order. We're serving it with a little bit of a tempura fried maitake mushroom. And we're making our own zucchini here, our own pickles, and we do a lot of kind of pickling and things like that to preserve some of the natural produce. Over the top, we also have a farm fresh egg that we're going to kind of create a sauce for the dish. We're getting this from a local farm up the street, where we get a lot of our local produce from a little place called Fishback Farms. The dish is kind of simply garnished with some pea tendrils and a little bit of a chiffonade of radish to kind of bring out some more texture in the dish. This is our diver scallop with XO sauce that we're showcasing for our spring menu. We're using some really beautiful U10 diver scallops that are coming out of Chatham, Massachusetts. We're doing a real quick sear with some 5-spice on the scallops themselves, and we're sitting it on a spiced carrot puree. We've used a little bit of horseradish and some fresh lime juice inside the puree, a touch of cream. Our XO sauce, we're using some more Western ingredients to kind of lighten it up. We're actually using a little bit of fresh sausage and a little bit of soy in this dish. Over the top is a crumble, a little bit of pickled carrot, and some sliced radish. In some way, shape, or form, the shrimp and grits is kind of a classic dish here at 20 Brix. We get a really fantastic product called Louisiana Pride gristmill polenta that we have ground just for us. We use a little bit of smoked cheddar and mozzarella cheese in our grits for body. And then for the top of the dish, we're using a really cool product called Laughing Bird shrimp out of Belize that just have a really fantastic flavor. They're a sashimi grade shrimp. We're sauteing it with a little bit of a house-made pancetta that we've kind of turned into almost a tasso-like product. A little roasted corn. We've also got a little bit of scallions in here. And then we make a really fantastic shrimp broth that we enrich in butter. So that's pretty much our shrimp and grits here at 20 Brix. So.